Welcome back, Vault Hunters. Derch here, and I've got another video for you today, a much quicker one. I want to talk about the Hawkeye versus the Muckamuck. Now, this has been talked about before, and it's kind of well known that the Hawkeye outperforms the Muckamuck with 0, and that's absolutely true. But it does not mean the Hawkeye outperforms the Muckamuck with everyone. And I wanted to discuss this quick because there's some, misconceptions about the Hawkeye. When you start to add buffs to it, the Muckamuck will start to pass up the Hawkeye. This is not actually true. So right now, I am playing as Maya, and she's got crit and damage boosts. But her crit boosts are not that large. So I have 0 skills on right now. Skills, and I'm going to disable bar, as you can see, so no bar, no skills, and I do have this that increases gun damage, so I am going to remove that. Alright, so now let's take some shots at him completely naked, nothing to buff. Again, you can see shield's not going to buff, grenade, and a bone's not going to buff. So, take a shot with a Hawkeye, and pause that. 3,487,000. Now take a shot with the Muckamuck. 3,100,000. Just again. 3,000,000. Oops, I should have paused that so you guys can see. 3,400,000. Not 3,400,000, but 3,100,000. So a difference of about 300,000. Now, before I put on the comm, let's go on because I have some substantial bar. Let's take some shots with those. Whoops. So, 4,400,000. And this is crit and damage. 4,100,000 or 4,100,000. 4,000,000. So it's about the same difference by turning on bar. Now I'm going to move that because I had damage and crit. And I'm just going to start going to some skills. So if I just go 5 out of 5 of Mind's Eye, nothing else. 3.6. 3.4. So Maya's critical hit bonuses are not enough to make the Muckamuck outperform the Hawkeye. Now if I put this on, I am getting Mind's Eye up to 50% crit, but I do, by doing that, add in gun damage as well, which will help the Hawkeye as well. So let's look at this. So 5-1. 5-1. So that about evened them out. 5-1-8. So as you stack those, they do get pretty even. But the Hawkeye still has a slight advantage. Now, you might say, okay, well, if I hit a body shot with the Muck versus a body shot with the Hawkeye, the Muck has a higher body shot. That's true. But the other buffs that people forget to talk about other than just the raw damage is fire rate, reload speed, and magazine size. So that 3 reload speed compared to the 4 in the Muckamuck, that's significant. I mean, one whole number in reload speed is pretty big. And then 3 extra in the mag on such a small mag is fairly large as well. So I'm going to go put some points into Foresight. So now I have 10 out of 5 in Foresight. And now let's look at these. 16 and 12. So an extra 4 shots in the mag. Now I'm just going to, so you can see the reload difference. That's a significant difference in reload. So you get extra fire rate, reload, and mag in a fairly good amount, and you're doing similar damage. Now, if I go further down with Maya and get Reaper, thought I had those disabled. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, how the fuck did that not crit? All right, all ADS. 7.2 million. 7.1 million. So by speccing into Reaper, the Hawkeye pulls ahead a little bit. Now if I go to accelerate, another damage buff, which Maya does not have a ton of buffs. Again, the Hawkeye, 8.8, 8.7. So even with Mind's Eye maxed out all of her critical hit buffs, the Hawkeye outperforms the Muckamuck on everything but body shots. And if you're using a Muckamuck for body shots, you're doing it wrong. If sometimes when you phase lock an enemy, they do get in that weird position where you can't hit their head. Swap to a shotgun. Don't use your sniper for that shot. The Hawkeye is objectively better than the Muckamuck on Maya in every single way, except for body shots, which you should not be using these for anyways. So the Hawkeye is definitely better than the Muckamuck on Maya. Now, if you carry this over to Axton, it's going to be even... The Hawkeye is going to outperform the Muckamuck even more in Axton because he doesn't have really any critical hit buffs outside of Ranger. If you're on Sal, it's pretty much going to outperform it. If you... So basically, the Muckamuck will outperform the... Sorry, the Hawkeye will outperform the Muckamuck on every character except for Zero. And I guess, yeah, if you want to get specific, you do have 0.3 better accuracy, but you're not going to notice that. So let's load in Zero. All right, so here I am with Zero on take like 5. I keep screwing this up. I've limited the build so I can control the stacks better. Rising shots, really hard to control apples to apples in a testing environment. Boar can do weird things, and kill confirmed, again, you're dealing with stacks. So I went away from those, velocity, one shot, one kill, headshot. Killer won't activate because we're not going to get kill skills. But we got crit here. We're going to get a bunch of crit here. And this will kind of show how the guns start to stack up. I did leave my bar on for 0, so I make up for some of those skills I did not take. You have both gun damage and critical hit damage on the common. I'm just going to leave that on here. And nothing else. So, because the Hawkeye has bigger critical hit damage, it should do really good with a one-shot, one-kill, because, as I explained in my Derchlands, the critical hit guy, when you have a really high critical hit, so this is 580, and I know this isn't listed, but it's 160. Base damage gets multiplied by 2 whenever you crit, and then 1 plus your critical hit damage. So the Hawkeye here, if I didn't have any skills on 0, would be base damage times 2 times 6.8. The Muckamuck with your base damage times 2 times 1.6. So by getting your base damage bigger, you are multiplied twice the times 2 and times 6.8, which gives you a bigger increase. Now, if you add to the critical hits, because those add those other numbers that are multiplied, you get less of an impact because on that base damage, you are multiplying your base damage times the number. So one shot, one kill here is 120%. Why that works so good with the critical hit damage, you're taking your base damage times 2.2, then times 2 for the crit, and then times 6.8 for the crit bonus. So now you are multiplying your base damage 3 times, getting that much larger. When you get a critical hit bonus, that critical hit bonus is just multiplying everything once, not 3 times. So you don't get that multiplicative effect. Instead, you get the additive effect. And that, in effect, is why the Hawkeye does better with base damage and critical hit damage. And to review all that, again, my Derchlands critical hit guy. But let's stop talking numbers and let's shoot him in the head. I'm going to ADS so there's no questions on it. All right, so full magazine, one shot, one kill bonus, optimum setup for the Hawkeye with 0. 15.8 million. Now I'm going to let the CA stack go away. I'm going to reload. 15.095. So the Hawkeye on that first shot wins. Now let's go. I'm going to let the CA stack go. Second shot without CA. 8-1. Let the CA stack expire. And 9-3. So the Muckamuck does better on the second follow-up shot, because that big bonus damage from one shot, one kill is gone. So now I'm going to get up to 10 stacks and shoot him with that. Ten stacks and shoot. 11 million. Now I'm going to quick reload, let it fall back down to 10. And then with the one shot, one kill, 16. So 11 million and 16 million. So now let's go with the Hawkeye. You know, the non one shot, one kill. Let that stack go away. 13. So that's definitely doing better than the 11. Let's reload, let it fall down to 10. 20, which is way better than the 16. So as you can see, as you add stacks, the Hawkeye falls below the Muckamuck pretty significantly. So I'll go up to 20 stacks. You can also see the recoil on the Hawkeye was less, though. So shoot him with 20 stacks, 18 million. Let it go back to 20. And hit him with one kill. So 20 and 25. Now let's get the Hawkeye here. So not one shot, one kill. 13, which is significantly below. And 19. So yeah, on 0, the Muckamuck wins. But it depends on how many stacks you have. Now, the one thing missing from this is Rising Shot. Now, Rising Shot will benefit the Hawkeye more than the Muckamuck because it is straight gun damage. So let's see if I can get 10 stacks. On the 10th shot, 12 million with Rising Shot. Now, I'll just go get rid of those stacks the easy way. I guess I could just swap to a gun. They go away pretty quick. Alright. So now I'm going to get a full 5 stacks of Rising Shot. And 10 stacks of CA. $16. So Muck still wins, but the difference isn't as huge as you think. Now, there's not a lot of 0 players that outside of boss fights can actually get above 20 stacks while playing through mobbing. And between the Hawkeye's increased magazine size, zoom, you can see how much less the recoil is. Fire rate, the DPS difference, even on 0, is probably less than you think. Let's look at this again. I mean, you're going to miss more shots with the Muckamuck because look how much it's bouncing, and I have to wait for it to come back down. So, like I said, even on 0, the Hawkeye is pretty comparable to the Muckamuck. Yes, you're going to do less damage, and if you get up to like 100 stacks, the Muckamuck's going to blow it away, but you're not getting up to 100 stacks with a Jakobs sniper. A few players can, but maybe 1% of the population can do that. And if you're pre-stacking to kill a boss, you're using a Liuda and a Vladoff Droog. You're not using Jakobs. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that realistic that a whole lot of players are ever going to get above 20 stacks with 0. And with Rising Shot, one kill, the Hawkeye actually stays fairly close. Now, the missing thing here is Killer. Killer is a big critical hit damage at 50%. You have 40% here, and that is going to benefit the Muckamuck more than the Hawkeye. That is absolutely true. Well, like I said, the difference of damage of them, it's significant. But, once again, 17 in the mag, 14 in the mag, an extra 3 shots, a faster reload, a faster fire rate, and less recoil so you can keep it on target. Yeah, it's not actually a whole lot different. So when the people are saying the Hawkeye sucks, they're way off base. Because even on 0, the Hawkeye does not suck at all. It's a very good sniper on 0. It has less of a damage ceiling than the Muckamuck, but you can land more shots with it, and it's easier to use. So, yeah. You can see that jump there. It's so much higher. Yeah, the Hawkeye is a very solid gun. It's better on pretty much every character other than 0. Now, when I just did that guide the other day, on the best manufacturers or ranking them, I did give the Hawkeye a 3. But that's still kind of suited because even though it can outperform the Muckamuck, it doesn't outperform the Muckamuck a lot. And it's not enough of a difference between the Muckamuck to warrant being stuck behind the hardest raid boss in the game. So I stand by my score I gave it, but there are people out there that are saying, oh, the Hawkeye sucks, it's a crappy Seraph, it's whatever. Maybe if you say it's not worth getting, that's a legit claim because it's not better than a Muckamuck by enough to make it worth going to farm Vora for it. I agree with that statement 100%. But it's not a bad sniper rifle at all. It's a very good sniper rifle. And like I said, outside of 0, it's better on pretty much every character. Gage can actually snipe up to around 100 stacks, and the Hawkeye with her is pretty fucking insane with her Anarchy base damage. The Hawkeye hits huge with her. On Maya, the Hawkeye is better. On Axton, the Hawkeye is better. Axton actually quite likes the Hawkeye because he's got a lot of his gun damage buffs, recoil buffs and stuff, and he can land a lot of shots with the Hawkeye. So it's one of the better snipers on Axton. Sal, if you're sniping with Sal, sure, the Hawkeye, he's got a lot of damage buffs, a few crits, but not enough, so the Hawkeye performs well on him. If you're sniping with Krieg, with a non-elemental sniper, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, so I'm not even going to really discuss him. But, yeah. So, in conclusion, Hawkeye, very good, better than the Muckamuck, but not by a ton. Does not suck at all because the Muckamuck is a damn good sniper. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys learned something. And if you haven't given the Hawkeye a chance, you should do it because it's a really good gun. See y'all later. Bye.